Ladies and gentlemen, Violent Games here. Today, I just wanted to make a video speculating on the new console wars. That's going to be around late 2019, early 2020, late 2020. We don't honestly know. This is a video made during the time period where we only really know whispers about the subject matter. We don't really know anything. We just have a few leaks, a few rumors, and a few pieces of information. So I'm going to go over basically what I'm going to speculate on is just Microsoft and Sony. I'm not going to really be focusing on Nintendo, but if you want my brief thoughts on Nintendo and what they're going to be doing in 2019, 2020, they're just going to be selling a shit ton of Switches. A new Switch model might come out. I'm hoping it's just a bit of a refurbished quality of life model where they improve a few features on it. I hope they don't increase the power because that would kind of suck that everyone bought a Switch and now it's already outdated within like 2 years. I hope they don't go that route. But that's how I feel about Nintendo. They're going to do their own thing and they're going to succeed because their console focuses on being a mobile system and also being the best platform for indie games. I really feel like those are the biggest points of the Switch, and if you don't support both those points, you probably shouldn't own one. So that's my thoughts there. But now let's get into PlayStation and Microsoft. Starting with PlayStation, because PlayStation honestly has given us the most leaks and details about the PlayStation 5. Dev kits have been released for months now, and people have gotten their hands on the technology, and it's pretty much confirmed to be quite strong, which makes me optimistic not only for the PlayStation 5, but for the new Xbox Scarlet coming out. I'm calling it that because that's literally the only name I could find, is that they're calling it Project Scarlet, I guess. Which, by the way, I wish they would run with that marketing because it sounds fucking awesome. Imagine if Microsoft's like, look, the Xbox One was a failed brand. And I know I'm going off into a tangent, but that's what Let's Talks are if you are unaware. But imagine if Xbox was like, we failed as a brand, we let our consumers down, and we know what we need to do to fix it. We need to put exclusives on our machine, and we need to pimp the fuck out of Game Pass. And that should be the theme of their console. They changed the green color scheme to red to try to reintroduce the brand in a new light, and then also launch the system with a bunch of different exclusives. And if they even come out later in the game with that marketing strategy, they would win. They would win some people at least, or at least incentivize people purchasing both consoles, if anything. So I wish they would do that, but I guess we'll have to talk more about Microsoft when we get into them. But the PlayStation 5 is going to be a beast. We're talking 4K 60, and I'm really hyped for the next-gen systems, again, because I've always wanted performance out of my consoles at home. I want at least 60 frames per second, and I think that is very possible with these new machines. I've said stuff like that in the past. I hope to God it's true this time. I wish I was smart about computers. I don't know shit, I'll be real. So the other thing we know about the PlayStation 5 is that they are focusing a bit more on VR. They are going to be making a new VR headset for the system, so unfortunately if you bought a VR headset for your PlayStation Pro, I'm sorry, you fucked up, because it's worthless. That PlayStation VR headset, in my honest opinion, was not powerful enough to run VR effectively, so all the resolution on each game would just be really, really poor, and when you wore it for prolonged periods of time, it would make you nauseous. It was not worth playing. Now, I've played on both an Oculus and the PlayStation VR headset. The PlayStation Pro VR headset sucks. And I'm saying that as someone who, like, vastly prefers PlayStation over Xbox right now, so I think new VR technology is exciting, but I'm worried if they put all their eggs into one basket, they will lose the point of what made the PlayStation 4 successful, was that you had all these exclusive games that no one could play anywhere else on your system. You had Detroit, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, the Yakuza series, Gravity Rush, a bunch of other different games, Bloodborne, a bunch of other games that I honestly don't even know exist yet. Like, that's how many they are, but it's pretty impressive how many exclusive games that are culturally relevant that are on the system. Also, Marvel's Spider-Man, that's another one that's a 2018 bombshell. So Sony's killing it on that front. I want them to continue to do that, and they're assuring that they are, and they have my faith as a consumer, because, like, they've just killed it, honestly. So that's the problem with the PlayStation VR, is I'm worried they'll focus on the headset, but I do have some optimism toward that headset because I think the PlayStation 5 is capable of actually making good VR games. I think good VRs can be good VR games could be developed on the system, and I think VR would be a really good medium for horror games, which is one of my favorite genres. So a bit of hype, but to be honest, I hope they don't fucking make it like the Xbox Kinect, where like you have to have the peripheral or something like that. Well, they won't do that, but you know what I'm saying. I hope they don't overpush the gimmick and then like stop making good games as a result, like the Xbox did with the Kinect. So that's Sony. That's Sony in a nutshell. That's what I think they're doing. Also, Sony did pull out of E3 2019, which a lot of people are like, should we be worried? Honestly, I think it's because they're going to be revealing the PlayStation 5. I don't think anyone is surprised. And if that's not the case, what Sony is doing is they're adopting Nintendo's strategy of releasing press. They're going to do direct shows from their studio, which would be much more cost effective and cost a lot less money. And honestly, I feel like that's just the way of the future. I think E3 is dying. People are caring less and less about E3. And gamers as a whole seem to be not happy with the bullshit that is continually coming out of E3. Whereas with these direct conferences, it's within Sony's control. Nothing can really go fucking wrong. And yeah, like I said, that's just the way of the future. So that's where Sony's at right now with the PlayStation 5. Now Xbox with Project Scarlet, we know basically nothing. And I hate to say it, but the Xbox One X, they just lost this generation. That brand is dead. The PlayStation Pro far exceeds the Xbox One X, and there's no way it can catch up. If you think that a 2019 E3 showing is going to make up for like all of the years of Xbox's neglect, then you're sorely mistaken. And as far as the actual specs of the console, we don't know anything about Project Scarlet. So I hate to make that segment a bit short, but it's true. We just don't know anything. However, let's look about what the moves are. Let's capture English first, and then let's talk about the moves Microsoft is making as a game company, though, because this is where I think my eyebrows are actually really lifted. Microsoft has been acquiring studios, and that seems to be the only thing they have to say as of late is we acquired this studio. Two big studios that stand out to me are Ninja Theory and Obsidian. Guys, I hate to see those studios go to Microsoft. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Ninja Theory made Senua's Sacrifice, which was a very good game. And I honestly think it was very overlooked by a lot of people. But like what that game did was so artistic and genius that not having Ninja Theory on the PlayStation 5 does bother me a little bit. And if Microsoft allows these studios to produce games that they want to make, they could make incredible exclusives for the Xbox. These studios are amazing. And to mention another studio that Microsoft acquired, they acquired Obsidian. They made Fallout New Vegas in 18 months with limited resources by Bethesda, with crunch periods by Bethesda, and they made a game better than any Fallout Bethesda has made. It is a big deal that Microsoft has Obsidian. Let's not downplay that. Let's not downplay any of that. I think that if Xbox starts focusing on just making good single-player experiences, along with working with all these other developers on their other projects, and just focus on putting exclusive titles on their machine for the next generation, they're going to do very well. I think even if they have half the exclusives, say, that Sony had, like, let's say that both the consoles come out, and Sony releases more exclusives, but Xbox releases half, but they're still just as good games, they have a better business model for selling those games. They have that Game Pass, which I think would be a very big argument for them, because it's just a good service with a lot of backwards compatibility. And if they take that backwards compatibility further, meaning that the Project Scarlet could play the 360 games, the Xbox One games, and then you're going to have a new library of exclusive content, that would be really, really appealing. I think Microsoft, they have a chance. They really, really do. But the question is, are they going to use these studios properly, and how long is it going to take these studios to develop games? Because, like, what if these consoles come out and Xbox still has no games for like the first 2 years of the system launching. That's going to look really bad and affect their sales numbers significantly. So they really need to have a proper launch. Anyways, guys, that's really all of the speculation I have about the next console war. It's up in the air. I'm actually excited for both companies for once. I can't wait to see what happens. And even on Nintendo's end, it's like, I know they're going to do some form of greatness. Like, new games are coming out for 2019 in the Nintendo Switch. So I'm just very pumped as a console gamer, as someone who owns 2 of the systems right now. I think it's heading in a good direction. I really, really do. And for all consumers, like I said, even the Xbox players, I feel like Microsoft's sending the right message. And it won't mean anything until they actually execute on that, but it gives one hope. It gives one hope. Anyways, guys, this is Violent Games signing off. Thank you for listening.